Hi class, so I wanted to create a video to welcome all of you back. As all of you know, due to the current circumstances, we are moving all of our classes online. I do know that this was initially a face-to-face class, so I know that it's not what we signed up for, but because of the current circumstances, we do have to move everything online. So in this video, I'm basically just going to go ahead and go over some of the changes that we are going to have to incorporate into the course because of recent events. So one of the things that I do want to point out is that I did add some pandemic information and resources to our homepage. That way you can go ahead and click on there, and if you want more information on DACC and whatever's going on, you can go ahead and click there. I also added an introduction to the online course, and this is basically what I do with my online classes. I know that this is not meant to be a full-blown online class because it was initially a face-to-face class. So a lot of you already know how to do these things, but basically what it is, I have a read first introduction to the course. Obviously right here is the video that I am recording, so that goes right here. But I talk about modes of communication, student learning outcomes. I talk a little bit about my grading. I have a video showing you how to submit an assignment. I also have a video that shows you how to access your Turnitin originality score. I talk a little bit about extra credit, which, as all of you know, I offer extra credit for events that are held at DACC, but because DACC is currently closed, obviously those opportunities for extra credit have also dried up. So what I am doing is I'm trying to create like an assignment so that people can get extra credit. But as of right now, the only way to obtain extra credit is to submit your major assignments to online tutoring. So like for example, you can submit the recommendation report to online tutoring because that is due, I believe, on Wednesday. Though right now they are really, really busy, so I don't know if they would be able to get back to you by Wednesday. But the next assignment we're going to do is a brochure, so you could possibly maybe um, submit that. I don't know if they would actually review it because it's a brochure, but you can try. And then, of course, the manual. Now, the manual consists of instructions and an actual manual with an introduction and things like that. So if you submit the instructions separately and then the manual separately to tutoring, you could get 10 points extra credit. So like I said, right now, the only way to obtain online tutoring is through the ARC and BrainFuse. So if you want to receive tutoring through the ARC, you do have to let me know so that I can fill out a form and I can go ahead and add you to the course. However, I think with BrainFuse, it might be a little bit quicker right now because you just can go ahead and create an account yourself and submit it. So keep that in mind. Whatever you decide to do, don't forget that you need to fill out a summary of tutoring form. So I talk about the format of the essays, but obviously this does not necessarily pertain to you. And I also talk about Canvas support. Since our class has moved online, it is very, very important that you have access to Canvas and that your Canvas is working because all our course is going to be conducted through Canvas. So if you have any issues, if you need any information, I did link the Canvas guides, which is basically like a website where you can go and it shows you how to do different things on Canvas. But also, if you have any issues, you can go ahead and email them or you can go ahead and call them. And they also have Canvas training, so if you're not that familiar with Canvas, I think they're still offering it. I also have Netiquette for online classes because I'm not sure yet, but we might have to do a discussion here and there just so that we can talk about certain things. So, whenever we're communicated through online discussions and things like that, you want to make sure you're respectful, you avoid offensive language, and that you don't share confidential information and things like that. So all of that is listed here. So the other thing I wanted to show you, besides this introduction to the course page, I wanted to show you the changes that I made to the course. So I think all of you are pretty familiar with like how to navigate our course. Obviously, you can go to assignments, you can go to grades to check your grades, discussions, if we have any files, modules. I think all of you guys are pretty familiar with that. So if you click on the introduction to online course, like I said, the first thing you see is the introduction to the course, but I also went ahead and I linked the instructions for how to download Office 365. If you don't have Office 365 on your computer, you can go ahead and download it. That's what I've done with my laptop, so I recommend that, and the instructions are right here. Obviously, if you ever have any questions on downloading something, you want to go ahead and contact technical support. And I don't know if they have a number here, but you can possibly, yes, they do. So no, they don't have a number. But you can always go to where it says Help Desk Home, and you can go ahead and call them if you're having trouble downloading or installing Office 365. I also went ahead and provided instructions on how to set up your notifications. Since we are doing this online, it's important that you get notified of whenever announcements are created and whenever assignments are due and things like that. So basically, one of the things that you want to do now that this class is officially online is you want to check announcements every single Monday, because that's when I will post sort of like a summary of what's going on that week. So in the announcement, I'll provide updates, I'll provide information, like maybe I'll go ahead and say, oh, I noticed that in the last assignment, a lot of people were not citing sources correctly, so go ahead and work on this. So make sure that you check announcements weekly, and this, of course, tells you to set notifications for assignments and submission comments and announcements and things like that. So it is important to be notified of things like that. Then I also have the summary of tutoring session. So this is the form that you fill out, and this is the form that you submit along with your assignment in order to get extra credit. Like I said, I know that right now there's not a lot of extra credit available, but just try to remember that extra credit is optional. It's not mandatory. So I am going to create an assignment that's for extra credit. It's only going to be worth maybe like 10 points. And of course, tutoring is also a way that you can get extra credit. But other than that, the only way to really improve your grade is going to be by submitting work and getting good grades on the work, since extra credit is so limited right now. So let's go ahead and look at the syllabus so that I can go ahead and show you some of the changes I made. So if we scroll down, one of the changes I made was I got rid of the technical description essay. Now, I didn't want to get rid of assignments, but just technically we don't have time to do the technical description because we were supposed to start this before spring break, but obviously we didn't have class before spring break, so I had to go ahead and get rid of it. The writing exercises, I also got rid of the 2 peer reviews that we had left. We did the recommendation peer review, so whenever you submit your recommendation report this week, make sure that you take a picture or that you scan the recommendation report peer review and that you submit it along with your recommendation report. If you weren't there, then obviously that's 10 points that you would miss because you didn't complete the peer review for the recommendation report. So basically this week, all you have to worry about is submitting your recommendation report. The recommendation report is due on Wednesday. So that's all you have to worry about. Wednesday is, let me go ahead and check that date for you. So it is due Wednesday. Wednesday is April 1st. So your recommendation report is now due on April 1st. So like I said, for this first week, that's all you have to worry about. Next week, of course, like I said, we're not doing the technical description anymore, but I am still going to have this writing exercise, which is a technical description practice. So we're still going to do that just so you can be introduced to the genre. And then we're going to start with the brochure. So next week we're doing the writing exercise, technical description, and then we're starting with the brochure. And like I said, I might have a discussion just so that we can go ahead and discuss effective and ineffective brochures. So these discussions would be like the ones that we have in class. They wouldn't necessarily be worth points because I don't want to add extra work that you haven't done before, but it would count towards your participation and attendance. So those discussions we will have there. Of course, I'll keep you posted. Then after that, we're still going to do the brochure analysis and we are still going to work on the brochure. Obviously, we're not going to have a brochure peer review. So what I might do is I might make the discussion worth 10 points. That way you guys can at least get some points. Because I know a lot of people would say, well, just get rid of the assignment. But I'm hesitant to get rid of assignments because people who need to raise their grade, those are the ones that would be affected by this. And I already got rid of the technical description. So maybe I will make this discussion 10 points to kind of make up for one of the peer reviews that we are missing. Of course, I'll go ahead and I'll update you on that whenever I have the assignment ready. But of course, those discussions, like I said, if even if it's worth 10 points, you also want to make sure that you participate in the discussion because it'll count as attendance and participation. So no technical description, no peer reviews, and I think that we are still going to have the brochure due by April 22nd. And then after that, we're going to move on and work on the manual. So really, the only changes I made to this class where I got rid of the technical description assignment and I got rid of the 2 peer reviews. Now, I did go ahead and replace the technical description with another assignment, which I'll go ahead and show you. So writing exercise number 8 was supposed to be, if we look right here, it was supposed to be the peer review for the technical description. So what I did instead was I went ahead and did a document design assignment that I've used before in other English 218 classes. So basically with this assignment, all you have to do is click on the newsletter and then you have to go ahead and edit it to improve the design. And I figure this would be a suitable assignment because we've already talked about design in class and it's also in the textbook. So we've already talked about what makes good design and bad design and, effective use of color and things like that. So that's what you would have to do for this assignment right here. You would basically have to edit it and add tables and things like that to improve the design of it. So instead of having the peer review assignment, I went ahead and added this assignment. I replaced the peer review with the document design assignment. So like I said, the other assignment, which was the brochure peer review, I might just replace that with a discussion. That way you still get your points because like I said, people who are trying to bring up their grade, they need all the points that they can get. So even though I got rid of the technical description, I still want to go ahead and replace the peer reviews with another assignment so that you guys don't miss out on those points. So to summarize, really, the only changes here are I got rid of the technical description, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. And I got rid of the 2 peer reviews, which will be replaced with 2 other assignments. Another change, of course, is that we have limited opportunities for extra credits, so it's very important that you try to do well on your assignments. And obviously, the biggest change of all is that we're not going to be meeting in class anymore. But I really want you to know that that doesn't mean that I'm not here for you anymore. So if you have questions, please feel free to email me. If you'd rather talk, you can email me and we can exchange phone numbers. Also, I'm probably going to have virtual office hours either through the chat on Canvas or through Zoom. So if you do want to talk, we can go ahead and talk that way. But please just keep that in mind that even though I'm not going to be seeing you anymore on Mondays and Wednesdays, that does not mean that you can't come up to me and ask me questions or anything like that. It just means that it just means that we have to communicate differently, right? And I don't know how many of you have taken online courses, but with online courses, it's all about communication. So if you get stuck on anything, just please email me. And like I said, if you'd rather discuss something, we could discuss it through the computer virtually, or we could discuss it through the phone. And if you don't have internet at home, I do know that Spectrum, I believe, is offering free internet. So I will go ahead and post that under one of the announcements. But for now, these are the changes. Make sure you check announcements every Monday so that you can go ahead and keep up with what's going on. And I know this is challenging, especially because you didn't sign up for an online class, but you know, we do have to try to make the best of it. So, if you have any questions, just let me know.